Hey everybody, this is Jake Garay here with Vinny Martin, and this is episode 10 of RealtyCheck. Today we're going to be talking about property management, guys. So, just to keep it pretty simple, there's two different things to think about when watching this video. The first is if you're managing the property yourself. So all of the things that we're going to kind of outline, the criteria that are important to good property management and the things that are kind of necessary to look for in people managing your properties or even for yourself managing your own properties are those things we're going to outline today. So let's say you have one or two properties, guys. These are the things that you should be asking yourself, am I doing these and am I doing these things well? And if you're looking to hire property management, maybe out of state or in a different area or maybe even locally and you just don't want to do it anymore, these are the things that you want to look at and assess them for and see if they're doing them well. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind as you're watching this video, guys. So the first thing you want to keep in mind is if you're managing the property yourself, okay, or you are hiring someone, there's always a price associated with that, okay? And people kind of forget that when they own their own property and manage it themselves. As you know, my experience has shown me a lot of times, let's say there's a property for sale, okay? It's an investment property, maybe it's a multifamily, and the owner is maintaining it. They go and they do a P&L statement, a price or a profit and loss statement, explaining the kind of expenses and the income of the property. They never put a maintenance or a management fee associated with that. So keep in mind, if you're managing your own property, there's always an expense, your own time, your own money, your own, anything that you have to do to put in to kind of take care of that property. Even if it's just the snow removal, you're going to have to pay someone else or someone else may have to pay someone else. So that's if you're managing the property. Now if someone else is managing the property, there's going to be a fee associated with that as well. And so it's important to know that if you only have maybe 1, 2, 3 units and you hire someone else, you don't have a large portfolio for them to manage. So in that case, they're going to charge you a little bit more than if, say, you have 30 or 40 or 50 units. So if you have 1 unit or 2 units and they're in a different area, whatever it may be, you may see property management fees in the range of 9 to 10% of the monthly income. So let's say you have a property that makes $10,000 a month. They're going to look for $1,000 a month to manage the property. Now, if you have a larger portfolio, then you're talking more in the 5 to 7% range. A little bit more affordable, but because of the sole fact that they're doing a lot of the same work, they can become more efficient at it and therefore, make a little bit less on the percentage, but it's going to lead to, them making the same amount in the long run, which is going to obviously make them happy. So that's the first thing to keep in mind. I'm going to let Vin talk about communication.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a few things, again, so when you're looking for a property manager in general, there's a few things that you want to look for to really make sure that you're going to be, bringing in the most amount of money you can be every month and to really just make everything go efficient for you. So one thing, like Jake was saying, was communication. So when you're looking for a property manager, you want to make sure that they're going to be reliable, that they're going to be able to communicate well with you. One thing that I like to, really with anybody is, when you call someone, you want to make sure that, one, at least they have a voicemail set up. That's a very simple thing, but a lot of people, they don't even have a voicemail set up. And that goes again with response time. So with a property manager, you want to make sure that, the road goes both ways. So, if I call you, I expect, an answer back. Whether I leave you a voice message and you call me back, and you really, you can get a feel for this pretty easily, when you first meet someone, you call them, you have a couple conversations over the phone, you can really get really a good feel to, how they are and, how effective they are with communicating. So that's a big one. The other thing too that you want to make sure is that they're credible in maintenance. As a property manager, you're going to be dealing with different things going wrong in your properties. Let's face it, whether it's a plumbing issue, whether it's something breaks, people are moving in and out of apartments. Things need to be fixed. Whether it's a little nick in the wall, hole in the wall. Something as simple as like repainting the place. Things need to be updated. Things need to be done while people are moving in and out of your property, and you want to make sure that your property manager can effectively do these things. If you're up here, snow removal is a big thing up here. Obviously down south you really don't need to worry about it, but you want to make sure that your property manager can do all of these things.
If you think about it, it's like if you get a call at 2 in the morning that the plumbing just went in one of your apartments or your house or something, and you're 6 hours away, you're not going to sleep that night unless you know that someone's on their way to take care of that, or at least is aware of the issue and is going to take care of it in the morning. So both communication and knowledge in maintenance and repair, or at least the ability to have connections with reliable connections in those areas, and credible connections is a big thing too. So and that kind of leads into the next point, which is just the overall management of the property. As a property manager, you're essentially, if you want to use the analogy of a property being a business, which it is, if you don't look at your property as a business, then you're looking at it the wrong way, and that's a totally different conversation. But the management, it's the CEO. If you're the property manager, you're the CEO of that property. You're in charge of delegating to the other people who are going to take care of, hey, Vinny, okay, you're going to be in charge of collecting rents every 1st and 15th of the month, depending on when the leases are up in your property.
Right.
Are you going to, first, and a lot of people don't realize it too, is there's a lot of different management with, okay, collecting rents. Then you've got to turn around, you've got to then deposit them into the owner's accounts and make sure you're taking a record of, you're doing all the accounting for the building. It is a building. You got to pay taxes and keep records of accounting, because if you ever want to sell, then you need those numbers to value that property. So there's a lot of different things that go into the overall management and the behind the scenes management, and it's just also just being how they are with the tenants.
I think
person to person relations.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like you're dealing, as a property manager, you need to understand that you're dealing with all these tenants, and if they're not dealing with them, then they're going to be harassing you and calling you as the owner. One thing is if you're paying a property manager every month, you're giving them the 10%, in other cases we're saying maybe a little bit less, but you're paying them, you don't want to deal with the headache.
You want to collect the check.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
It.
So that is a big thing.
Yeah. So keep all those things in mind, guys, with property management. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and to be completely honest with you, that's what's going to make or break. There's really two main things, if you think about it, in investing that are going to determine whether or not you are a good investor in residential rentals. And that's going to be, the first, what you pay for property. Because we all know in real estate, as an investor, you don't make the money when you sell. You make the money when you buy.
Right.
Buy low, sell high. That's the first thing. And the second thing is when you manage. How you run your portfolio, how efficiently you manage is going to determine whether or not you could take a great building. I've seen so many scenarios with good buildings, and they're just poorly run. They let the building fall apart. They don't take care of it. They don't maintain it. All the things
they become slumlords.
They become slumlords. And what happens then? No one wants to live there. The rental rates go down, or they don't go up, which is essentially the same thing as going down, because each year you have inflation, and if your income isn't increasing every year, then it's actually decreasing. So these are all things that you have to keep in mind. And the last thing I will kind of throw in here at the end is those property managers are going to be responsible for cleaning up the apartments and doing all that different stuff at the end, and you want to make sure that they have the same standards of cleanliness and how they maintain the property that you would if you owned it. How do you keep your bedroom? How do you keep your house? That's the way that you should be keeping your properties, because those are someone else's home. So people don't want to live in a dirty place.
Yeah.
So these are all different things to keep in mind, whether you are doing the property management yourself, or you're going to hire someone else to do it. Do you have any last thoughts that you want to throw in?
That's about it, guys. If you like the video, you like what you guys saw, like, share it with your friends. You know, follow our pages, follow our Facebook, follow our Instagram, Twitter. Check out our website page. That's about it.
Yeah, and keep an eye out for episode 11. Thanks for watching, guys.